and he will throw. He's going for the bundle. He has Houston. Houston steps out of bounds. Houston inside Dallas territory to the 34-yard line, and I'll tell you, that's a gutsy call.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. Thank you. If you can maybe give this video a thumbs up or possibly leave a comment below or maybe even share this video, it would mean so much to me. But anyway, just thank you so much for just taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Well, quite possibly some very good news for the New York Giants, New York Football Giants. Kenny Pickett, pro day. Very nice. Now you gotta start looking at the teams, right around the Giants. Carolina, got Sam Darnold. Atlanta, they brought in Marcus Mariota. Seattle's got Drew Lock. The Texans at number 13. I mean, they got number 3 too. I mean, would they pull it? Pull it? Getting a quarterback at number 3, or they want unless they want to ride out their young David Mills. I mean, he's young. I mean, who knows? But the Saints at number 18, they just signed Jameis Winston. Steelers, they Mitch Trubisky at number 20. Now, if we can just kind of go, with Sam Darnold, all right, the Panthers picked number 6. Last year was 59% completion percentage. I mean, in today's day and age, in his passing offenses they got and all that stuff and everything, you're completing under 60%. I mean, we go back 30, 40 years, you're completing 59%, you're in the Hall of Fame, But nowadays, under 60%, last year, 9 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Carolina's looking for a quarterback. Now, that doesn't mean, because they're looking for a quarterback, it's like, well, we got to take Malik Willis or, Kenny Pickett, right? Doesn't mean it. But, they're in they're looking. They also they got P.J. Walker, who completed 54.5% of his passes last year. I mean, he only played I think it was the one game. Started the one game. He had 1 touchdown. His 3 interceptions. So I mean, they're looking for a quarterback. Atlanta at number 8. They go right. I mean, it's like crazy. The quarterbacks just flying all over the place. Simply amazing this year. But they brought in Marcus Mariota, but they only brought him in for a 2-year deal. I mean, if they think these guys are it, and this, it's like with when Broncos got Russell Wilson, they didn't sign him to a 2-year deal. So when they extended, the Packers extended Aaron Rodgers, it wasn't a 2-year deal. So when you think you got the quarterback, right? Ain't no 2-year deal, right? So Marcus Mariota's a 2-year deal. Okay. Seattle's got Drew Lock at number 9. Seattle's number 9. They got Drew Lock. I think as what I saw, he was an undrafted free agent. I'm sorry, unrestricted free agent after this next season coming up. So I mean, it's might be one and done for him in Seattle. I mean, unless he really impressed the heck out of him, which I don't really see happening. Then they'll extend him. But I mean, I think he's an unrestricted free agent after this season. For his career, he completed 59% of his passes. He has 25 touchdowns, 20 interceptions. I mean, a lot of potential coming out of college, but it just doesn't seem like he's doing it. I said Texans at number 13. I said they might want to maybe pick, one of the stud tackles or, well, I don't know, maybe Hamilton or, who knows, what I'm saying? But, they might want to ride out with David Mills. I mean, last year, for on a bad football team, he completed 66.8% of his passes, had 16 touchdowns and 10 interceptions on a bad team. And he's only 23 years old, right? That's pretty good. I mean, that's impressive. Now, I don't know if they see, him being a quarterback forever, but, I mean, who knows? They might be a market for a team at maybe number 13, or I said, unless they're totally thrilled to death at like Malik Willis. Maybe pick him up at 3. Who knows? Then you got the Saints. They signed Jameis Winston, right? But they only signed him to a 2-year deal. If they thought he was the answer, right, they might hook him in for a good 4-year deal or so, 4 or 5, just 2. Right? Then you got the Steelers. At number 20, they got Mitch Trubisky on a 2-year deal. All right, so it just seems like some of these guys are, none of these guys are signed for the long haul, which could kind of tell you something. Oh, my dog's here. Dog wants to be petted. So at Kenny Pickett's pro day, all right, the Falcons, the Panthers, the Lions, the Saints, the Giants, Eagles, Seahawks, Titans, and Commanders were all there, were all in attendance for Kenny Pickett's pro day. Now, the Giants aren't, hey, who knows? Who knows, right? But I really doubt it. I think it was more or less just to kind of see, what everybody else is looking at. I mean, are they there like, this guy could be it. This guy could be, So, I mean, I don't think they're there to draft him. I think they're going to try to give Daniel Jones whatever he can. Because, I mean, why would you draft him and then you try to set up Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones goes up and just lights it up in Dable's offense, right? Then you got Pickett, and it's like, well, we got Daniel Jones, we don't need Pickett. You know what I mean? So you have to try to trade him. So I think they were just there just to try to check out to see what he's all about. Now, the Commanders at number 11, they're going to have a hard time trying to deal with the Giants on draft day. Ron Rivera's not picking the phone up and calling Dable. Yeah, hey, Dave, how you doing? Ron Rivera here. Yeah, the Commanders, we're in your division. Can we trade with you? Because we want to get a quarterback so we can kick your ass twice a year. Yeah, I don't really see that happening. So, I can see the Commanders moving up maybe with somebody else, but they'd have a hard time trading up for the Giants. If they are trading up, it's for a quarterback. That's it. They got Carson Wentz. He was with the Eagles. He spent 1 year with the Colts. Now he's with the Commanders. So things aren't looking too good for him. So, I said there was 9 teams in Kenny Pickett's pro day. Now, all 32 teams were in attendance for Malik Willis. Not all the coaches or anything like that, but all 32 teams were represented for Malik Willis at his pro day. He's got some big time upside to him. All right, he's got a great arm. He does have some fundamentals that he's going to need to work on, right? But if one of these teams does draft him, and they have a veteran, right, in place, maybe and Malik can work behind the veteran, for maybe a year or so, right? A lot of teams have the quarterbacks, but only for have these quarterbacks, but only for a couple of years. It seems like they're just kind of like they're just holding the torch so they can pass it off to somebody, right? We got Mitch Trubisky. He was a starter. He's a decent starter. Nothing absolutely fantastic, but he's a decent starter, right? See, he has experience, right? So can he hold the torch for us for a year or two while we maybe draft somebody and bring somebody up until we, this next quarterback will take us into the future? Yeah, it's like Jameis Winston, right? All these teams, right, have, quarterback, but not for a long period of time. So it kind of seems that like a lot of these teams are looking for a quarterback, right? Now with Malik Willis, there's a lot of some fundamental issues that he has. Like sometimes, his throwing motion. He might, I seen a video of him. He fired one off the back of his foot or something, 65 yards. The dude, he almost overthrew the guy. The guy caught the ball in the end zone. It was a crazy throw. So he can do that. But then again, like sometimes, like, you know, he might set up and there might be a guy cutting across the middle. He might miss him, overthrow him terribly, or you know, it might be an out pattern. He might, you know, sail it over the guy's head. So he's got some fundamental issues, but the correctable things. You know, it's not going to take a day. It's not going to take a week. You know, it's going to take time. You know. So, but he's got a lot of upsides. I mean, if somebody there, I mean, it was like with Trey Lance last year. I don't know if anybody had him going in the top 3 or 4 or so. You know, but Shanahan saw something in him, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden, Trey Lance was the man. You know, 49ers picked him. So, I mean, this seems to happen every year. I mean, like Trevor Lawrence last year was like going into the draft was like, okay, you know, he's the number one. I mean, Luck with the Colts. I mean, going back, you know, however many years, you know, kind of, he's the number one guy, you know. But usually then there's like somebody or a couple quarterbacks that, you know, kind of maybe come, I don't want to say nowhere, but it's like people like watching their film through the year and all that. Yeah, he's pretty good. He might maybe make the top first round, maybe early second, you know. Then they go to the Senior Bowl, and then they have a combine, and then they go to their pro day, and all of a sudden, oh my God, you got to get this guy. He's good. You know, so some guy comes from almost obscurity down into the top 10 or top 5 because he has a fantastic pro day. So, and it just seems like with Kenny Pickett, I mean, what I'm saying here and I'm reading and all, you know, he has a problem. You know, it's weird. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. But he has like undersized hands. I mean, for 6'3", I mean, it's kind of, you know, that's a bit odd. What I was reading also, the college football is a little bit smaller than the pro football. So, I mean, if he's doing good with the college football, he might have trouble throwing the pro football. But in his pro day, apparently he tore it up really, really good. What I read was Pickett, he did very well. Somebody said he crushed it, right? There was an NFC assistant GM. Okay, who was there? He said he showed it all. He has a huge arm. He's athletic, and he has quick strike capability. No way he gets out of the top 10. Maybe sooner. Wow. So what was, you know, I mean, I've seen mock drafts. Kenny Pickett was everywhere, the teens and the 20s. I mean, I've seen him everywhere. But now after his pro day, this NFC assistant GM said, no way he gets out of the top 10, maybe even the top 5. I mean, it's like, wow. Dude with the small hands, yeah, all of a sudden like that, wow. Now, last season, Pickett was third in the Heisman voting, so, I mean, he had a very good year. He had 4,319 passing yards, 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He has 5 years of college experience, so it's not like, you know, he's been there for, you know, just a couple years. I mean, he's 5 years. He's got a lot of experience going for him, right? So the Giants might look to maybe Atlanta, maybe even the Panthers, right? Panthers might want to jump up to the Giants at number 5. So maybe nobody jumps Carolina, right? I mean, Carolina might be saying that. Who knows? The Giants might look to the Saints, maybe even the Seahawks. They might want to move up because I said Kenny Pickett's pro day. All right, the Seahawks were there, the Falcons were there, the Panthers were there, and the Saints were there. Even the Lions were there. I mean, who knows? The Lions at number 2 might take him. It's a wild card. You don't know. I mean, the Lions might take him. The Texans might take Malik Willis at number 3. You have no idea. You know, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a heck of a draft. It's gonna be really exciting. I mean, there's a lot of wild cards there. A lot of wild. You think Hutchinson is the number 1. You got a good feeling of that, but you don't know. You don't know who number 2, number 3. You don't know who the top tackle is going to be, who the top quarterback is going to be, where they're going to go, who the top wide receiver is going to be, where Thibodeau is going to go. You don't know where Cross is going to go, the offensive line. I mean, you don't know. It's exciting, really, really exciting. So I said, so the Giants might look at some of those teams, you know, I mean, if they maybe possibly want to move up. You know, maybe, you know, I said Carolina might want to move up to number 5 so nobody jumps them at number 6, right? Who knows? Now, if at number 7, you know, some teams might want to just jump up to number 7 and take a chance on what Carolina might want to do. Who knows? I saw, you know, possible trade, with the Falcons. All right, the Falcons to jump up to number 5. All right, Falcons are at number 8. Falcons jump up number 5 in front of Carolina. They would get their pick of quarterbacks. I saw that the Falcons might give up their picks number 8 and possibly, possibly pick number 43. Maybe first and their second. Now, there's a system out there. Jimmy Johnson assigns points to each position. All right, the Giants' points at number 5 pick is worth 1,700 points. The Falcons, their pick number 8 is 1,400 points. Their pick number 43 is worth 470 points. So they would be giving the Giants 1,870 points. The Giants would only give back 1,700. So the Giants might have to maybe give a little compensation in return, maybe a little bit. But for one thing, even with that point system that Jimmy Johnson has, you can get a little more premium when there's a quarterback involved. A quarterback in the top 10 or 15 or whatever. You can get a little bit more of a premium for a quarterback. So for the Falcons, to jump up to number 5, we might get their pick number 8. We might have to move back 3 spots. And then we might get their pick number 43 in the second round. So we might pick up a first and a second for our first round. So basically we would pick up a second round pick. Something to think about, right? Now we trade with the Saints. The Saints are number 18. Their pick number 18 is only worth 900 points. So our pick number 5, if they wanted to jump all the way up to 5, ours is worth 1,700 points. Our pick number 7 is only worth 1,500 points. But obviously, if they only jump up to 7, Carolina would have an option to basically take whichever quarterback they want. So if the Saints wanted to get get their pick of whatever quarterback they want, if they're looking for a quarterback, right? They want to jump up to 5, right? They might have to, they're going to have to give up, to go from 18 to number 5, they're going to have to give up their pick number 18. They might have to give up the pick number, like maybe, I don't know, they have a pick number 49, which is 410 points. They got a pick number 98, which is only worth 108 points. But basically, if they're going to go from 18 down to, especially 5, it's going to cost them at least another first rounder, at least. Because you got to remember, last year, the Bears went 9 picks. They went from 20 down to 11, 9, and they gave up their pick number 20. They gave up another first, they gave up a 4th, and they gave up a 5th just to move 9 spots. And the 9 spots they moved was only down to number 11. If we're talking the Saints going from 18 down to 5, you're talking, pick number 18, you're talking at least another first rounder next year. As I said, maybe possibly they got pick number 49 in the second round. Maybe something like that. Maybe get the 2 Saints first round picks and maybe a second rounder, maybe even something in return. Because you go from 18 to 5, that's a big jump. That's a guaranteed at least another first rounder. As I said, which would be great for the Giants because they would get another first rounder for next year. So then next year they'd have at least 2 first rounders. So if they needed a quarterback, they can combine those 2 first rounders and maybe trade off with somebody who's down lower if they see a quarterback that they want to see. The Seahawks at number 9. Their pick number 9 is worth 1,350 points. They also have pick number 40, which is worth 500 points. So if they wanted to go up, if they want, to pick number 5, our pick number 5 is 17. So if they give us pick number 9 and pick number 40, that would be 1,850 points. So we would get maybe their first rounder and their second rounder for our pick number 5. So we'd have to move back 4 spots, but we'd also pick up their second round pick. That's a possibility. Because I can't see the Seahawks going very far with Drew Lock. Sorry. Can't see that happen. And I said, now same thing with Carolina. Carolina might want to move up just 1 spot with the Giants just to make sure that nobody jumps in front of them. But the great thing about that would be, Carolina is trading with the Giants, all right? So you're going to you might get like a 3rd round pick, just to move back 1 spot. But you're pretty sure they're taking a quarterback. So if Equanu's still there, Thibodeau's there, maybe Hamilton or Neal, maybe one of those guys, you're moving back one spot, you're getting an extra draft choice, and you're still getting your guy. I mean, that's fantastic, you know. So, I mean, anybody, you know, I mean, with the Falcons at number 8, the Seahawks at number 9, and the Carolina Panthers, if any of those teams want to move up with the Giants to maybe like pick number 5, I'm not sure if you'd be getting another first rounder. You're certainly going to be getting some more picks, that's for sure, but it may not be a first rounder. But, I mean, if the Steelers, because Mike Tomlin went to dinner with Malik Willis. He went to his pro day. Matt Rule was there, too. And Ben McAdoo was there, Malik Willis's pro day, too. The new offensive coordinator for Panthers. So, I mean, if the Steelers at number 20 or the Saints at number 18 want to jump all the way up to like number 5 or number 7, take, you know, guaranteed at least an extra first round pick plus some. So, you know, I mean, if nothing else, having quarterbacks, okay, with good pro days is going to do nothing but help the Giants, because even if those quarterbacks get taken early, well, that now you right say the Lions take Pickett. Well, now instead of Lions taking, you know, Neal or Equanu, well, they get moved back one spot. So now there's an extra, you know, so now, you know, one of those tackles might be there for the Giants, or maybe Hamilton might make it, or Sauce Gardner might be, you know what I mean? So if a quarterback gets taken in front of the Giants, that's good, because then one of the positional players gets pushed back to the Giants. If they take the positional players, there's still a chance that somebody might want to trade up with the Giants, right, to get a quarterback. So the Giants can, you know, maybe move back but get some extra draft picks. And it would be really, really good if the Giants can get a first rounder for next year, as I said, because if Daniel Jones doesn't pan out this year, next year is going to be a good year to be able to draft a quarterback. And if the Giants have a couple first rounders in their pocket for next year's draft, they'll have a good shot at getting themselves a good quarterback. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there and go Giants! Woo!